I don't honestly think you could get a better shot than this of a place that we were once at a long time ago, and only just now are we being asked to return to it. It won't happen immediately, but we know that within the next few months, this will be the intended destination as we prepare ourselves for the brand new expansion and a huge shift in the plot. I have to admit, the way that the light is reflecting off of the Crystal Tower from the sun is really amazing. But it looks like the weather's about to change and we may have to pull back anyway. But in any event, with that in mind, greetings people of the world. Matthew back with you here at Overall Autism for another edition of the Tales of Eorzea vlog here on Final Fantasy XIV's Exodus server. Yeah, I think we will keep the shot on this as much as we can. And hopefully the weather doesn't change too much, but yeah, I know that it has been a week since well, it's actually been 2 weeks because last week I wasn't in town. I was out of town in Toronto, involved with the Games Finished Adequately charity events where I played Final Fantasy XIV, helping to support the Sick Kids Hospital over in Toronto. And it was definitely a worthwhile effort, but doing so meant that I was not here to talk about the things that were discussed in last week's third and final part of the Final Fantasy XIV Fan Festival, which took place in Tokyo, where our good friend Lou had the opportunity to go over there, hang out with his Square Enix friends, and also get to meet a lot of people who I know were very enthusiastic about what is to come. Because after Tuesday, we know that this is where we ultimately have to go. The Crystal Tower, a place that we never needed to go to unless you were doing side content. This was a place that was originally meant as the first 24-player challenge, starting in the Labyrinth of the Ancients, then the tower itself when it was known as the Circus Tower, and then culminating in the World of Darkness. We helped out the Sons of St. Quinix Find, led by Rambros, got some unexpected help from Une and Doga, as well as from Grahatia, and the... I don't know, can we necessarily say it was the intervention? Well, it was probably more like interference of Nero. And so it brought us to this place, and what was once maybe an afterthought for people who had never come here before, those who have not done so are now going to be asked to come here and complete the required tasks. Because, yeah, it's no longer just a side content anymore. It's now a required visit. And who knows how long it will take people to get here, for those who have yet to attempt this place, knowing that they'll have to come here in order to access the Crystal Tower to get to the new content for the new expansion. So as far as the new content is concerned, most of it is stuff that was a refresher from the Fan Festival that came before it in Paris. So by and large it was stuff that we already knew. But there was also things that were brought to our attention that were new. The two most notable, of course, being that we already knew that Gunblader was going to be introduced as a tank class, and everyone was thinking that logic would dictate and that we would see a healer class to go with it. But that was not the case, because everyone was fully expecting Dancer to become a role in this game, a playable class, and it is, but not as a healer as everyone was hoping for. Instead, it will be another DPS class. And obviously a lot of people are disappointed, but I also know that there are quite a number of people who are not disappointed by the fact that it's not a healing class, and people have already speculated like there's going to be a significant shortage of healers when we get to Shadowbringers, and that it's bad for the game and whatnot. But like, we don't know what Square Enix is thinking. Obviously they feel that we have a sufficient amount of healers, and I mean, like, what else are you going to heal with? I mean, a staff was kind of something that was made sense with White Mage, and also a spellbook with Scholar. And then Astrologian healing with tarot cards, like that was something that I always thought was really weird. But if anything from we've seen from Stormblood was any indication, then we might see in the expansion beyond an addition of another healer in the form of a Geomancer. Because as we saw in the Stormblood Astrologian storyline, the Geomancer is basically this place's game's version of an astrologer for the Far East. But they use the elements as their way of healing, as opposed to tarot cards. So it'll be interesting to see how, if Geomancer is ever brought in, and if so, I'm sure a lot of people will be relieved. I can pretty much be assured of that. And then, the other significant addition of knowledge that was brand new was that there's not going to be just one new race to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. There will be another. And that will come in the form of the Hrothgar, an old beast warrior tribe. And so they're going to be, interestingly, they're going to be an male only, and the Viera will be female only. So that also, I know, disappointed a lot of people who were thinking like, well, there's female Viera, we've seen that before in Final Fantasy XII, so logically there's got to be male Viera too, right? Well, Square Enix didn't seem to think so, and so they gave us the Hrothgar, which is going to be this game's version of the Ronso from Final Fantasy X. And it will be male only. I guess they thought like, well, we already have actually at this point it's going to be 3 human-animal hybrids for the ladies. There's Vera, of course, as well as Mikote and Aura. So I guess they thought that men should have 3 of their own. And so they've going to give us the Hrothgar, and we can't wait to see how they're going to be implemented within the Shadowbringers storyline. And I can really, because when I first saw the first picks for the Hrothgar, my immediate thought was, if we get to a situation where there's no definitive end in the expansion beyond Shadowbringers in 6.0, my first thought was our good friend who's responsible for being featured in quite a number of the special events that we've done over the years, Rika, would be turned into a Hrothgar by me. I would use a Fantasia, turn Rika into a Hrothgar, and we would have her play as such. But turns out that's not going to work out like that. But I'm okay with it. It's no big deal for me. So yeah, those were the 2 major additions implemented into the expansion for Shadowbringers. Pretty much the last 2, because as I said, most of the stuff that we learned about was stuff that had already been brought to our attention in the previous fan festivals not in Tokyo, but in Paris and Las Vegas. So, knowing what we know now, it's just a matter of seeing how we are going to have the plot take place. I mean, the trailers have definitely hinted at some very significant things. They've indicated a significant shift in the plot, and this place, the Crystal Tower, will be something that we'll be using to go to a completely different place. Eorzea and Doma and Garlemald and everything here will be left behind for the time being, and we're going to go to another place that I guess is going to be a place that can only be accessed through use of the Crystal Tower. So it'll be interesting to see how are they going to make us the hero, but yet at the same time also make us the villain. My greatest fear with the way that they're doing the trailer is that they make us sympathize with the Astians and their leader Zodiark, the dark equivalent of Hydaelyn. That's my greatest worry, is that like we're trying to save this world, but now we have to save another world by being evil. And like I said, my greatest worry is that we end up sympathizing with the Asians and basically walking hand in hand with them. It's my greatest worry, and I just hope that they don't make us too evil. I just hope that they will make us still likable, because we're supposed to be saving the world. It feels so weird to be going into a situation where we're going to be becoming evil, but the plot is asking us to do this. So yeah, we'll just have to find out how it all unfolds, and all I can hope is that the Warrior of Light, as they stand in their current iteration, can still be loved and still be appreciated by those who know them the best, and by people here in this particular world. And so, yeah, it's almost 3 months now before the story will be unfurled before our very eyes. Am I nervous? Absolutely. But should we be excited? Absolutely. So, that is going to do it for this edition of the Tales of Eorzea vlog. As always, if you have a character here on Exodus, or looking to create one on Exodus, and you're interested in joining our free company, we'd be more than happy to have you with us. So thank you very much everyone for watching, and until next time everyone, this is Matthew at Navora Autism, saying take care, and I'll see you soon.